What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So the new Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge is easily one of the best phones of 2016, but what makes it stand out? Let's go ahead and go over the top 5 features of the new S7 Edge. Starting off, it should come as no surprise that the screen is one of the S7 Edge's best features. The curved 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display gives you a 2560 by 1440 resolution at 534 pixels per inch. It's been no secret in recent years that Samsung smartphone displays have been the best on the market, and while the specs didn't really change from last year's S6, Samsung didn't really need to do much upgrading. Colors are really saturated and vivid, everything is really bright, and blacks are really deep. And viewing angles are great no matter how you look at it, even with the curved edges. And the slight bump in size to 5.5 inches from the standard S7's 5.1-inch screen is definitely a worthwhile upgrade. The fact that the screen essentially wraps around both edges of the phone not only make the side bezels basically non-existent, but it also makes the phone feel a lot thinner and nicer when you're holding it. You don't have to worry about accidentally touching the screen because the display works in such a way that it ignores unintended touches on the edges. And like I mentioned, the curved edges have really no effect whatsoever on how you view the screen, both straight on and from the sides. With the Edge, you do get a couple added features that utilize that curved screen, like having app shortcuts and contacts readily available and a news feed. Samsung has tried to add more functionality with the Edge, but it's one of those things where you either use it or you don't. And one last thing I want to quickly mention, Samsung added an always on feature for the display, so now you have the option to continually show the time, date, and battery percentage while your phone is asleep. And you can also customize what gets displayed or even disable it completely if you want. Next, we have the battery, and this is something that a lot of phone manufacturers, particularly Samsung, have struggled with in the past, but something that Samsung tried to tackle with the S7 Edge. While the 3000 mAh battery isn't removable, Samsung made it a point to put one of the larger batteries available right now in the Edge, and even made the S7 and S7 Edge a little thicker to accommodate it. You should get at least a full day of use under normal conditions, and with Quick Charge 2.0, you should be spending very minimal time plugged into the charger. One of the best features we saw from the S5 from 2 years ago that was left out of the S6 is water resistance, but this returns once again to the S7 and S7 Edge. You get IP68 water and dust resistance, so you're good for up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes. The phone isn't totally waterproof, so I wouldn't recommend taking it swimming, but if you spill something on it or accidentally drop it in water, you won't have to worry about rushing to find a bag of rice to put it in. And what's really nice is that you don't have to worry about any plugs or attachments to protect the ports. It's water resistant right out of the box, even with the headphone jack, USB port, and speakers totally exposed. The camera on the S7 Edge has been upgraded in more ways than one. One of the biggest complaints people had with the S6 was just how far the camera stuck out from the back of the phone, and because of that, Samsung shrunk that bump down to something much more manageable on the S7 and S7 Edge. Along with getting rid of the bump, Samsung also opted to go with a new 12 megapixel dual pixel design at an f1.7 aperture. These changes make the camera even better in low light and allow for faster focusing. And of course, you also get the Pro mode we saw last year, which offers a variety of settings you can adjust manually, including exposure, white balance, ISO, and shutter speed to get even more control over your pictures and video. And last but certainly not least, expandable storage returns once again to both the S7 and S7 Edge. You can pop in up to 200 gigabytes of extra storage via micro SD card, which definitely makes me feel a little bit better given the 32 gigabyte default storage size. However, there is one major drawback. Adoptable storage, an awesome feature we saw added to Marshmallow last year, is technically not supported, so your internal storage and SD card don't go hand in hand. They're essentially two different storage locations. For some people, this might not be a huge deal as it's been on Android for a while, but for others, you can find some workarounds online that will enable adoptable storage. The S7 Edge has a lot of great features that make it one of the best smartphones on the market right now. Aside from the display and Edge features, everything else I mentioned in this video can be applied to the standard S7, so whether you go with the regular S7 or pay the extra $100 and get the Edge, you're getting an awesome device all the way around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what you think of the new Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.